everyone, I've got Richard, the founder of VEMA, on, and before I jump on and show you the interview that I had with him, I just want to quickly explain my thoughts around VEMA as well before he goes through all the amazing stuff. And if you ever want to be a day trader, okay, you've got to remember why you're becoming a day trader. If you want to be a day trader, there's two reasons. One, it's because you want money, or two is because you want lifestyle that might give you flexibility and freedom. To be honest, as a day trader, you don't really get flexibility and freedom because you are stuck behind a screen every single day. So the only real reason you become a day trader is for money. And if you enjoy the job you're already doing, all you're doing is swapping one job for another job. Okay. So where VEMA comes in and what makes it so fantastic is you can be a day trader, make money, and get your time back. And you're probably thinking, well, how can I do that? And that's what I want to quickly show you now, because what it do is it automates everything. Okay. People who goes, oh, what's the difference between it and TradingView? TradingView is one component in it. It's got the charts like TradingView, but they're not even comparable. I'll show you now why. So for instance, let's look at BNB here. If, let's say this thing collapsed and it broke through this support and you're like, okay, I want to be on this short because it's going to, all this Binance FUD plays out and it goes down to $40 or something like that. But you've got to be watching this chart all the time, because what happens if while you're sleeping, the news comes out or something and it collapses, you've missed the trade. Okay, how VEMA works is it actually automates triggers for you. So over here in trigger, you can go add and you can draw a trigger point. Okay, so I might say when it breaks below there, it's broken below our support level and I want to go short. From there, you can then go into setup and you can actually choose the direction, one, long or short. I want to go short. And strategy, bounce, cross, or break and retest. So a cross would be when it crosses that line, it enters a trade for you. Break and retest is when it breaks through that line and then retests that line as resistance. It'll take the trade for you. Or a bounce is where if I want it to come down there and people buy it, so it bounces off there, it'll take trade. So this will automate it for me. So let's say I want to go cross. Okay. Then from there, you can set your stop loss. I might say above that pivot and, down here to say $40 or $20 or something. And it does it all for you. It tells you that, hang on, my stop loss is 60%. It's pretty far. It's up there. And my risk to reward's only 1.4. That's not really a good enough trade for me to take. So I need to adjust my stop loss to make it a better R&R. Now I've at least got a 3-to-1 trade. Okay. So it lets you know that kind of thing. But then on that, you can even add conditions. So on the conditions, you might have an expiry date, because again, you don't want it to be stuck there forever. So you might be, you know what, if it hasn't broken through by that date, just can't cancel the trade. You might go in and go, you might not want it to take the trade just to alert you if you do want to manually do it yourself. You might operate on candle close so you don't get wicked out and then taken out. So the candle needs to close below the trigger, which is something Dow3 said, listen to the candle close. And you also might want the condition of volume increasing, because volume should be supporting the move as it's breaking through as well. So all these are conditions that you can have to help make that trade as well. So you can add all those things in, add the trade, and then that's it. I then can go to the gym. I can hang out with my family. I can do whatever I want that day, because I can have multiple trades open that I've already analyzed in the morning with my triggers. And if they go, awesome. It's made me money. It's taken me into a trade wherever I am. Okay. So this is how you can be a day trader. Do a little routine in the morning, look for your setups, have them all there. You could have 100 charts all set up in VEMA here with triggers and which way it's going. And then you can go and enjoy your life. Like, that's what's so amazing about it. And you might have a trigger going that way. Then you might have another trigger up here to go long. So if the market goes up, you're making money. If the market goes down, you're making money. You're in both ways. So this is why it can be so powerful. But anyway, I won't give it justice. I'll bring it over to Richard now and he can explain it further. Okay, g'day everyone. I I've put up a few charts lately on VEMA Trader, and I put up that sale recently on Cyber Monday about VEMA, and I had a few people asking me what is VEMA, and what makes it different to TradingView, and it kind of made me laugh because if you only knew, it's so much more than TradingView. TradingView is like literally 5% of what VEMA can do. It's actually even incorporated within VEMA Trader. So me trying to talk about it wouldn't really give it justice. So I thought, you know what? I reached out to Richard, who's actually the founder of VEMA Trader, and said, mate, can you jump on my YouTube and actually show these guys how friggin' awesome this piece of software is? Because I just don't think people, one, are aware of how good it is, and two, just all the wicked awesome features that it can actually do. So how you going, buddy?
I'm good, ASX Trader. How you doing, man?
Yeah, good, man. Good. So yeah, I just thought, mate, thanks for coming on. I just wanted you to kind of just show everyone exactly what VEMA Trader can do. And yeah, first of all, tell us a little bit about the story. Like, how did you even come about creating the piece of software? And yeah, give us a little bit of history on it.
Yeah, sure thing, man. So first off, thanks for having me on the channel, man. Really appreciate it. So the idea of VEMA Trader came about because back in 2017, when I was getting into trading, I was running an R&D department at the time, and our mandate was go find problems that inside the business or customers are having and solve them. And it was wonderful fun. And while I was doing that job, there would be times when I'd jump into meetings with the owner of the company, the CEO, and my bosses, and they would be, and I'd be presenting, and my phone alert would go off saying, "Hey, it's time to go and exit the position or manage the position." And I got really frustrated that I couldn't quite just tell the people just if we could pause the meeting for a minute while I go manage my trade. It wasn't quite an option.
Yeah.
So I went home I was telling my wife about that night, and she's gone, "Aren't you the head of R&D? Isn't it your job to find problems and solve them?" I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Why don't you just solve this problem?" That's a good point. Why don't I just solve the problem? So I got to work on what would eventually become VEMA Trader. It's a system designed to massively simplify trading. As a day trader, you're usually using a visualization charting software, a position size calculator, risk management software,
Mhm.
and journaling. Journaling is just the number one thing people should do, and it's the probably the biggest thing that people don't do. And so the idea was, well, how can we take all those different tools and combine them into one package that just is really simple to use, takes away all the boring parts, and automates as much as possible while still leaving you, the trader, in full control.
That's so, yeah, it's funny you talking about the journaling and the reflection, all that kind of thing. It really takes me back to my teaching days. And I still remember like when I was a uni student, and you go in and you learn how to be a teacher. And the key thing to learn to be a teacher is all about, once you've done your lesson, that reflection,
Absolutely.
looking at how you did, how can you improve, what works so you keep doing it, what didn't work so you don't, so you stop doing it, and how you can improve it. And people forget that you need that in order to grow. If you're not reflecting, if you're not reflecting on how to improve, then you're never going to get better. And yeah, it's so important that trading is no different. It's a skill just like anything else, and if you're not doing that, you're not going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a skill that can actually be learned. I love
Mm,
the different traders that we've got. People who never thought they could trade before went and started taking a course using VEMA Trader,
mm,
and then going through what we call the VEMA loop to just go, "Oh crap, look at that. I can do this. There is this
mm,
thing that I can do. I didn't think I didn't think I could do this because I'm not very good at math." It's like, well, you don't
mm.
need to be good at math. Here, I'll show you this one. I'm assuming you can see the VEMA loop.
Yep.
Yeah, so we call it the VEMA loop. That's what the name VEMA stands for: visualize, execute, monitor, and analyze. As a trader, what's the process for taking a trade? First, you look at a chart and you do your visualization. You see where you're going to enter the trade, what entry conditions you're waiting for. Then you want something to execute those trades for you. Hey, my entry conditions are met. I want it to figure out the position sizing, set the orders on the exchange, enter the position. And that can all be automated. So then you want to, while your position's open, you want to be able to manage the position. Hey, my first take profit's been hit. Let's move the stop loss up into a break even. Or I think we're going to go for a bigger run from some news event. Let's move that take profit further away. So while VEMA automates parts of the trading, it still leaves you in complete control with the with with everything. And then finally, as you've been trading with VEMA, we are automatically tracking every single trade by around 20 different data points, which we'll go through pretty soon. And even if you're not journaling your trades, VEMA is journaling all of these different things anyway, so that you can surface up what's working for you. And then as you've then analyzed and found what's working for you, what's not, you can then tweak your trade plan so that you can then do better visualization, better executions, better monitoring, more analysis, and you can just keep on continuously improving.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, awesome. Oh, well, show us what it's all about, mate.
Can do. I will share my screen in 2 seconds. Here we go, this monitor. All right, so here we are looking at the VEMA Trader dashboard. At any point you got a question, mate, just interrupt and fire away. Hey? All right, so all the magic happens on the start charting button in the top right-hand corner. We'll come back to the dashboard in a second once we know more about the trades. So I'm going to jump over to click on start charting, which will take me into the chart. So TradingView is fantastic. So VEMA is built over the top of TradingView, fully standalone. You don't need a TradingView subscription to be working with VEMA Trader. So we've got all the built-in indicators that TradingView has. So, hey, I've seen a lot of your stuff, so you probably want to add on the RSI and the OBV. Go ahead and add those on.
You've been stalking me, haven't you?
I've been a fan of yours for ages. We used to jump on the channel. Of course, I'd love to. So let's see if we can just pretend that I'm going to do an absolutely amazing TA for this example here. I want more screen space. So I'm just going to get rid of the RSI and the OBV. Get rid of that one. Here we go. You got all the regular drawing tools built in. You've got the watch lists that you can go and add in your own bits and pieces to. VEMA connects to Forex and a few crypto exchanges. And you've also got the drawing tools. So if you're familiar with TradingView, you're going to feel right at home in VEMA Trader because it's built over the top of TradingView.
Oh, that's cool. You can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can at any point go ahead and just throw on a trade using the market entry. Which is fun, but what's more fun is waiting for the trade to come to you to give yourself a better entry. Like if I do a scenario off the top of this right now, Ethereum is making a sideways triangle. Let's pretend that this is bang on, please. Here we go. So we've got some simple TA going on. Look, it looks like price is probably going to come up, hit this descending trend line, and then come back down to the bottom of the wedge. But you know what? Would you take a short on that right now, or would you prefer to wait for it to come up and get you a better entry, giving you a better risk reward?
Yeah, come up.
Yeah, exactly. So what we can do with VEMA is we can bring in these triggers. So on the left-hand side, I'll bring in a trigger. I'll clear out the old ones that are there, and I'll just click on add. So now that activates the trend line drawing tool, and you'll see it now says trigger on it, which says when price gets here, do something. And what that something is, I'm going to change this one here to a support, which looks nicer about there. So I can then come over to the setups on the left-hand side and click on add. Now with this, I can say, what do we want to do? When price hits trigger 1, we want to short the market, and we want to do that with a bounce strategy. And so V for VEMA, V for visualize, we do as much as we can on the chart. So that's now added a take profit and a stop loss and a line showing this is where we're expecting price to come before we take action. So we can just move our stop loss somewhere about there-ish. Sounds pretty fun. And I'll put my take profit down to the support level. If we wanted, that's it. We could go ahead and press add. We're done. But now you're probably thinking, well, what about the position sizing? What about the risk management? What about the journaling? There's all those bits in the left-hand corner, which we'll come to in just a second. We've got this add conditions part here. So when price hits the trigger, we want to take a short, but I don't really want to just get an entry straight away. What if price hits the downtrend and just shoots straight through? Now I've hit my stop loss. Bugger, I don't want to hit my stop loss. So we can add a condition here and pull in a distance to confirm. And so we can add this as, let's just say 1%, see what happens. Cool. So now it says price has to come up, hit the trigger, and then show me some bearish rejection off the downtrend, which gives me more confirmation that this is a trade I want to take. So now we can send that off to VEMA. VEMA monitors it in real time. As soon as our entry conditions are met, because you're the trader, your trade plan, VEMA's not a magic bot. You set the entry conditions. When your entry conditions are met, VEMA's going to take the trade. If they're not met, it just won't take the trade. And there's a whole bunch of guardrails we can do to block things from badly happening. Like just one more I'd love to show you is the distance to invalidate. So if price does come up here and hits the downtrend, but then shoots through, we didn't get that bearish action. So VEMA is going to say, hey, I'm just going to invalidate this trade because the trend line was actually invalidated.
Yeah.
So we've got loads of fun things like that inside of VEMA that protect you. So then we can expand out the risk management. And by default, as a trader, ASX trader, how much of your account do you want to risk per trade?
1 to 2% every trade.
1 to 2%. So that's defaulted right here. Sorry, and?
Yeah, this is game changing because any trader that starts off, and me personally, I blew up so many accounts first trading because I didn't know risk management. And when you realize how important risk management is, and this actually does all the work for you and tells you your R&R, it's worth its weight in gold. It's absolutely amazing.
So we get even better than that. We say, hey, we only want to take this trade. My trade plan says I will only take a trade that is better than a 3-to-1 trade. When I get my entry conditions, if this doesn't meet a 3-to-1, then VEMA is going to say, sorry, it didn't fit your trade plan, and it's just going to reject it. So straight off the bat here, I've got a problem. My minimum risk to reward is 3, but my estimated entry with the rejection tells me it's going to be a 2.9.
Oh, close.
Now, for the sake of example, so we continue with this one, I'm just going to grab that stop loss and move it down here just to give it a bit closer to really bring it into, oh, now it's under my my risk reward. But hang on, how did that affect the position sizing? Well, VEMA just recalculated everything for the risk to be 1% of the account if your stop loss gets hit. So this is a paper trading demo account. It's got a $10,000 balance on it. And so 1% of that is going to be $100. So when I move my stop loss around, we want to keep the P&L if a loss happens to as close as we can to 1%, which means adjusting the position size and the leverage. And this is the part that a lot of people just don't quite get. They're like, well, I've got a $10,000 account. So to risk 1% means my position size should be $100. Like, that's not it at all. It's if your stop loss gets hit, then you want to lose 100.
Yeah, exactly. They don't understand that. They just look at it and go, oh, 100% win. I'm like, 100% win means nothing if you're risking 20% to get it. That's only a 5-to-1 trade.
Exactly.
I mean, 100% win is awesome. If you were risking 1%, that's a 100-to-1 trade. That means you're risking $1,000 to make 100 grand. Yep. But if you had a 20% stop loss, you're risking 20 grand to make 100 grand. Different game. And that's why, yeah, this is an absolute game changer. When you fully understand risk to reward,
So as a trader, you don't have to worry about that because where's the entry going to be on this downtrend? Don't know. And every point along this downtrend is going to give you a different position size and leverage to hit that account risk of 1%. So VEMA just automates it. When your entry conditions are met, recalculate, send the orders off. So super smooth, super quick. Then we can also say, hey, I just want to add in some more take profits here. So I'll move my take profit number 3, like way lower. I'll put another one down here-ish. And so now that's changed it from what was close to a 3-to-1 trade to now a 9-to-1 because it's just going to split the position size to auto allocate itself across all the take profits.
And it's amazing how they actually, like I did a trade on Crow from 5 cents and I had a TP1 at, I think 8 cents, 10 cents. And then my TP3 was like 12 cents, which I'm thinking there's no way it's going up there, but there's a chance. And it got hit the other day. I was like, holy shit, that's a 120% trade, which was I think it was a 30-to-1 risk reward trade. And it was just, and it just did it. And you know what? Since then it's crashed to like 10 cents.
Yes.
So the fact that VEMA just automatically did it, I locked in my profit, took away all of my emotion. I was feeling quite euphoric at the time and probably wouldn't have sold because I was, absolutely loving life. But VEMA automated it for me. It sold it for me. And now I'm actually, thank God that it did because it's corrected 30% since then.
Yeah, so, I'm a holder of that, and I'm just watching it. It was great. Oh, bugger.
Yeah. And that's what's so good. It removes your emotion because your emotion will be the thing that actually stops you being a good trader, not so much your skill. It's typically your psychology, and that's why VEMA, it removes that psychology. I can't emphasize that enough. It's been a game changer for me. But yeah, sorry, Richard, I keep interrupting.
Go for it, dude. Go for it. So that's emotion is why we brought in the VEMA Smart Stop, which says like moving your stop loss. Oh God, where am I going to put it? It's too close. It's too far away. I'll put it. I want to move it in case it goes further. So we brought in the VEMA Smart Stop a couple of weeks ago, which with a multi-take profit setup like this, as soon as price hits take profit 1, our stop loss is going to move to entry. If price was then to fall down to take profit 2, then our stop loss will auto move to take profit 1. So that way we're locking in those profits and we're keeping emotion entirely out of the way. But you as the trader, you can still come along and move the stop loss somewhere else. Perfectly fine. But where did you set your take profits? You probably set it at a really good level anyway. Like there's support. There's the next support. Down here, I'm just looking here as the long shot. There's my next support level.
Yeah, so old support should become new resistance. So you might just adjust it maybe a couple of percent above it kind of thing, because then, yeah, if it was to come back, it should reject it.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect.
So as I'm mousing over, I'm jumping around here a bit. I should be more streamlined. But as I mouse over everything, there's these big pop-ups that will pop up. We want VEMA to be very, very descriptive in what it's going to do and how it's going to do it. So every single input on a trade setup, if you mouse over it, there's a little thing that tells you what it does. If you click on Learn More, it'll take you to our support page for that feature with the 30-second, 1-minute video explaining exactly what it does and showing scenarios of where to use it.
Beautiful. Yep.
So then we come down to the journal section. I'm on a call with ASX Trader. I'm feeling really freaking happy, man. How confident am I on this trade? You know, you can use this as a.
That's great.
Really good. But now I go, now if I see a 10, well, hang on, it's a 10. Oh God, why am I at 10 out of 10 confidence? If I'm 10 out of 10, then maybe that tells me that I'm overconfident. So then we can also come in here and leave ourselves a note. We could type in the note. But you know what's more fun? To just look at your chart and describe it. I am looking at a downtrend coming off the trigger. There's a support level at about 1900. So we can always leave a note, because when you see something now versus when it plays out, you'll look at it later on and go, what the hell was I thinking? That's not a descending triangle. That was very clearly a bull flag. But you want to be able to track what were you thinking at the time versus what you're thinking now. And now that's the base journal that VEMA's got. We're then tagging as much as we can out of these, like which conditions were you using, what trade session were you using, what symbol, what strategy, what time frame, what day of week. So all those things. But then you can add these custom journal bits in here. So I can say my high time frame bias is, a high time frame bias, I'm still quite bullish on everything at the moment. We're still getting daily highs, high lows.
Yeah, Mark checks bullish, yeah.
So now I can step in here to my reasons for entry, and I can look at this and go, am I trading with my high time frame bias? No, but I do have a recent market structure. I've got a high, a lower high, lower high, lower high. So yeah, I've got market structure here. I am using a trend line. I do have support, and if I was using OBV or RSI, I could say I have some divergence, but I'm not, so I'm not going to tick that. Then I can tag my pattern here and say this is a descending triangle. Did I get my morning routine and everything done today? So what's in my trade plan? And then finally, what are my bad habits? Is my stop loss too tight? Maybe I should look at that. Am I counter trend trading? According to my bad habit, I should stop doing that.
Oh, beautiful. So those bad habits you've actually identified from analyzing your data. Correct. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I'll show you that in a second in the analyze section. So then we come up here to tags, and we can these are anything you want to tag it. You can just say RSI, OBV declining, rising. I'm typing something in. You know what I'm going to call this one? ASX Trader. There we go. I've now just got a new tag for ASX Trader. Yeah, maybe I just follow every single one of your calls and see how they go. Yeah, so then we can click on add. Now, that's as much as I'm going to do for this demo, but we could go ahead and say, you know what, I think we're going to stay in this triangle a while longer. So I'm going to bring in a new trigger as support, and then I can add another trade and go off trigger 2, long bounce. And so we can add as many setups as you'd like. So all you've really got to do is identify where what I call the decision points of the market and be ready for either direction when it reaches that decision point.
Well, that's it. You can be prepared for a short of that trend line, or you could also be prepared for, can you do it so if you break through the trend line, retest that pivot as support and the trend line support and take along that way as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we could go, so you're talking about trigger 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can go to trigger 1, let's go direction long, and let's do a break and retest.
Break
So
and
waiting for
retest,
price
yeah.
to break and then come and retest the trigger.
Mm.
So we'll put that in. I'll set my distance to break as 1 to bring it lower. And now I've got all my same conditions. I can, you know what, if this doesn't happen by this date, just cancel the whole thing.
Yeah.
Move my stop loss up a little bit, put my take profit somewhere higher at the first resistance level. And yeah, we can just go ahead and add on more of that until we've got, now we're ready for both, whatever happens.
That's it. Now you're like, dude,
directions.
it can go up or down and I've got a trade to make me money.
Yep. So really, really, really cool. I'm going to cancel out that one, and then I'm going to submit this. So I submit this, it goes over to VEMA. Now we're back onto our dashboard screen here. So on our dashboard, we're looking at the P&L by date up the top. And then we scroll down and we can see all the different trades that are currently sitting here. So when you take a trade, when a trade plays, you can see, well, we've got the full story. It's in monitoring. This one's in an open position. I can mouse over and see it's currently up 1%. And these are like closed trades. The idea being that when a position has closed, you then click on it and then go into it and then review your trade. What did I do well? What did I do wrong? And then send it off to your analyze screen. But I'm on this trade at the moment. And so what was I looking at on this one? You know what? I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'll go to my journal. And what does my journal say? Hey, we're forming an uptrend with an ascending triangle. Here is the screenshot that VEMA automatically took to show you this is what you were looking for. Bam.
Oh, so, okay. So it takes it for you. Wow. Okay. Yep.
And then as we add in our own bits and pieces here, wow. Press the record button too early. I've got the entry. This thing is going to the moon, baby. And then if I add this note to the journal, it will then take a new screenshot and add that in there as well. So I can track every single thing that we're doing through the life cycle of the trade. Now, whenever VEMA does anything at all to your trade plan, it's going to leave a note here to say this is what it did. So VEMA is not some black box. We want traders to always know exactly what's happening and why VEMA did what it did. So we've got this lovely log. And then finally, after you've taken a bunch of trades, we come to the analyze screen up the top here. And so the most key metric to analyze your data is just straight up, am I profitable, yes or no? And so this just tells you, yes, you have a profitability and expected value that when you're trading, you are making money. Rightio. What about when I'm trading my ascending triangles? Yes, you're profitable. You're profitable on Tuesdays. But you know what? Wednesdays, you just suck on Wednesdays. Like, stop trading on Wednesdays. I don't know what I do on Wednesdays, but they just don't work for me. So my data says don't trade on Wednesday. The Asia session's doing pretty good. New York, not as good. So why am I staying up until 2 a.m. to trade the New York session when I could be sleeping? Is that profit worth it to me? And then never, ever, ever shy away from your losses. So I've added an analysis card here that is only showing my losses. Let's go look at some. And so here is every single loss that I've made on this account. Never shy away from them. And then as we scroll down, we can then add tags. Well, as I've lost this trade, I can see that I was counter trend trading. I added a tag onto this one that I moved my stop loss too early. I forgot to look left. My stop loss was too tight. And so you'll see how much these things are costing you. But then the final part here is we can then come up to the My Account section into the customization. And then we can scroll down. And now we've got that journal on the left-hand side. You've now got full control of what's happening in here. So you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to look left. So now every time I try to submit a trade in VEMA, it's going to ask me, did I look left? Because that's my bad habit checklist.
Love it. Yeah.
And there's VEMA in a pretty quick nutshell.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't even know it did that. I've just been using it for the other stuff, and
what gets better,
yeah,
you can turn on Force Journal so that you can't actually place a trade in VEMA until you press the button. I'm gonna this is fun.
Which, you know what, is so important. Like, that's what I was forced to do when learning to be a teacher as well. It's like, I had to do a reflection on every lesson. It was a non-negotiable. Like, they made me do it, and yet, you know, we're out here trying to learn to be a trader, thinking that you can learn it in a couple of weeks. It's no different to anything else. It can take years and years, and you have to follow the same process that makes anyone successful at anything. That's
Exactly.
yeah.
So here, I want to take that short trade right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, news just came out. It's gonna dump, man. But you know
Mm,
what? Forced journaling's turned on, so I can't
mm.
actually enter the trade until I fill out that journal.
Love it. Yeah, wow. Which is really, really powerful for anyone learning to be a trader. Like different story when you've got a proven strategy that's profitable. That's a different story. You don't have
Yeah.
to, but yeah, when you're still learning and you're still learning to be profitable, that is, yeah, that's a game changer.
So I'll show you one more thing.
Yeah.
So cool. VEMA looks. I'm just seeing the lighting on my face here. It's dark, so I've got these lights. I've got like evil eyes coming on. I'll share my screen. The cool thing is we've been around since February of last year, so coming up on 2 years now.
Mhm.
Yes, it's one thing for us to say this process works and it's great. It's another thing to show some customer stories and show who's actually kicking ass at this. So here's Tim McMahon. This is one of my favorite customer stories. Here's his screenshot of his dashboard, and it shows, you can see here, lots of little reds and big green ones. That's awesome. Like, hey, yeah, when you're losing, lose a little. When you win, win big. But check this, from this 27th of September, a nice big fat green one. That's when Tim decided, I'm going to look at this data, analyze, see where I'm going wrong, and what should I should stop doing, and then change his trade plan. From that point forward, check that, just big fat green, beautiful P&L every single day. So over, not every day, but over this period of time, he was able to, this includes all the losses that happened before September. He's grown the account 60%. Like, that's not a number to scoff at,
That's
you know?
no way. And that's the thing people don't realize is that, and that's just why it's psychology. You know, like
Yeah.
even the best shooter in the NBA, Steph Curry, he has had times where he shoots 12% on the court, even though is the best. You know, he knows that there are times when he'll go in slumps. That there shows that there are times as a trader you'll go in slumps. But at the end of the day, you know, you've got a system that's proven that works, and you just got to keep going at it every day. And then eventually your numbers will come out on top. And he knows the same thing. He doesn't shoot 1 from 13 one game and go, oh shit, I can't play anymore. I'm not playing anymore. He just knows you keep shooting because eventually they will start dropping. Your confidence comes back, and then you're doing 12 from 13 the next time. And you can see that there as well. And the key to him there is that he's reflected on what was going wrong from the journal and grown on it. Wow. Oh,
Absolutely.
Timmy, he was in one of my war rooms a couple of months ago. He's great student.
Hey, you know, he has now he's quit his job recently and is
Did
now a
he?
full-time trader. Like,
Did not know that. Wow.
that's just totally badass. Like, man,
Good on him.
VEMA Trader has helped him identify what type of trading he should do. You've done the
Yeah.
war room with him to really get his knowledge.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
just applied everything and he's kicking ass. It's so cool.
Wow. Good on him.
One more for you is Mr. Jack Birkinshaw. A guy started trading, gosh, I think last year. Hadn't traded before. You ask him and you say, hey, how did you learn to trade? I'm just going to throw out name dropping MTC Education. They've got really, really cool. You teach with them. So Jack started to learn with them. And he started with VEMA Trader, so he didn't have any bad habits of or pre-trained notions of how to do trading, and so he's jumped in to learn how to trade and just applied it all into VEMA Trader from day one. And you can see his results, 70% over a period of time. It's just incredible stuff. So now he's actually now teaching others to trade as well.
Yeah, yeah. And how old is Jack? Jack, by the way.
Jack is a young dude. He's like,
yeah,
early 20s, I think.
Mate, I wish I, I wish I got into it at that age as well. Good on him. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, well, thank you so much for jumping on and showing, because I couldn't help but laugh when people were saying, "Oh, what's the difference between that and trade view?" Because I'm like,
oh god,
well, there it is, right there. You can now you know the difference. It's literally you can't even compare it. It's like comparing apples and oranges, you know. And that's why I was like, you know what, mate, you've got to jump on and tell these guys what it's all about. So
the way I see it, man, TradingView is absolutely incredible for charting.
And 100%,
that's why we built over the top of it. Like, it's incredible. And then people can trade off it, but what it can really do for trading is just set up an order, which is a horizontal level. But there's a downtrend, there's an uptrend. I want to trade off that. You're gonna move the line every couple of seconds. just have something that automates it. It also doesn't have a journal, and it doesn't do position sizing and lots of other things that VEMA has, which I just won't rattle on. But yeah, so never going to trash talk TradingView, but VEMA does add a hell of a lot of extra functionality specifically for day traders.
Easy. So you've got a pretty good sale going on right now. Is that right for Black Friday?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
Cyber Monday, yeah.
So we've launched our Cyber Monday a bit early. So if people go to vematrader.com/ASX trader or vematrader.com and then click on the sign up link on our page, we have currently got 50% off all the different plans. So you can have your first month of live trading for $49.50, your first month of paper trading for $14.50. You get absolutely everything that VEMA has to offer except live trading on that one. But the best deal we've got going is the go for the yearly, $4.95 up front, but then you get everything VEMA has to offer 50% off for a full year. And it's, yeah, pretty damn badass. Should also say connects to OKX, BitMEX, Bybit, and Concept Trader. And we're currently speaking with 2 more Forex exchanges and 3 more crypto exchanges. Yeah.
Oh, legend. I've had a few people ask around stocks as well. You currently aren't offering it with stocks. Is that correct?
Not yet, no. So if we can find a broker that is willing to work with us and get them integrated, then I would love to speak with them. Hey, like seriously, we could do all the efforts on our end. They just need an API and we can do the rest. Yeah, if anyone knows a broker out there, get in touch who does stocks, because we would absolutely love to include stocks into VEMA's offering for sure.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. So just for crypto at the moment and Forex.
Yep.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, something comes out with stocks in the future as well, because I can't even tell you how many times I've had a trade there, set up the alert, woke up, out having coffee or breakfast one morning, and then next thing I see my missed alert on my phone, and the thing's up 100% that day. And if I had VEMA, seriously, I can't even tell you how many times that happened. I'm like, that breakfast just cost me $10,000. I'm like, okay. Well, if I had VEMA, it would have got me in the position, and I would have been actually loving life instead of, regretting going to breakfast that morning. So yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on, mate. It was an absolute pleasure, and even though I'm using it myself, just you doing that again, every time I see it, I learn something new and something that I don't even realize that it has. There's just so many features that blow me away every time. It's literally like you've taken everything I would want in a piece of software in my head and put it down on a piece of software. So yeah, thank you.
No, you're welcome, man. Thank you so much for having us on there. Thank you so much for having me, dude. That's what I should just finish up there.
Easy. All right, legend. Thanks, mate. And looking forward to, if anything new comes out and you want to share it with the community, let us know. And I'd love to have you on again.
Awesome. I would very happily come back on again, man. Yeah, we've got some cool stuff in the pipelines. The first thing I should speak with you about is the education stuff. So I think you'll like that. Let's have a talk after this.
Yep, legend. All right. Thanks, mate.
Awesome. Thanks very much, man. Bye-bye.